Winter in the Middle Ages was not dramatic. It did not arrive with sudden storms or heroic music. It arrived slowly, quietly, and once it came, it stayed. For medieval people, winter was not a season of celebration. It was a long test of patience, preparation, and endurance. Tonight, we'll gently explore how ordinary people survived the cold months, what they ate, how they stayed warm, what daily life felt like when the sun disappeared early, and the world became very quiet. Surviving winter began long before the first snow fell. During autumn, villagers worked almost constantly. Crops were harvested, grain was dried and stored in barns. Vegetables like onions, turnips, and cabbage were buried in cool earth pits to last through the cold months. Meat was rarely eaten fresh in winter. Instead, animals were slaughtered in late autumn, when feeding them through winter became difficult. The meat was salted, smoked, or dried. Nothing was wasted. Fat was saved for candles. Bones were boiled for broth. Even stale bread would later be softened in soup. Winter survival depended less on strength and more on careful planning. Firewood was precious. Most homes could not afford to keep a fire burning constantly. Instead, fires were lit in the morning and evening, then allowed to fade. Homes were built small on purpose. Low ceilings trapped heat. Families slept in the same room, sometimes the same bed, to share warmth. Clothing was layered, not stylish. Wool was the most important fabric. It kept warmth even when damp and was worn day and night. People often slept fully dressed. Hats were worn indoors. Blankets were heavy, rough, and rarely washed during winter. Cold was accepted as part of life. Comfort meant simply not freezing. Winter food was simple and repetitive. Most meals were soups and stews, grain porridge, dark bread, dried peas and beans. Fresh fruit was rare. Vegetables were bland but filling. Meat, if available, was heavily salted and tough. Spices were expensive and used sparingly. Flavor came mostly from onions, garlic, and herbs dried during summer. Hunger was common, especially late in winter. By February and March, many food stores were nearly empty. This time was known as the hungry gap. People ate less, moved less, and waited for spring. Winter slowed everything. Fields were silent. Travel was dangerous. Roads turned to mud or ice. Most people stayed close to home. Days were short. Candles were expensive, so evenings were dark. Indoor work filled the time. Clothes were mended. Tools were repaired. Stories were told softly near the fire. Children played indoors or helped with chores. Animals were kept close, sometimes even inside homes, adding warmth and smell. Life became quieter, slower, and very still. Winter was the most dangerous season. Cold weakened the body. Poor nutrition made illness more likely. Coughs, fevers, and infections spread easily in cramped homes. Medical knowledge was limited. Treatments included herbal teas, warm poultices, and rest. People relied on routine and faith. Survival often came down to luck. Those who made it through winter were considered strong, even if they did nothing heroic at all. As winter dragged on, hope slowly returned. Days became slightly longer. Snow melted. Animals grew restless. Even before crops grew, the promise of warmth was enough to lift spirits. Spring meant survival had been achieved once more. Medieval people did not conquer winter. They endured it. Through preparation, patience, and quiet routine, they made it through the cold months 1 year at a time. No drama, no glory, just survival. And now you can rest.